And I think it's a miracle that they have such a picture.
That's an amazing photograph.
Like you could have 4 boys in the service, but never have them all home at the same time.
I know, that's amazing.
It was, they shipped out and they just didn't come back for years.
I know, it's gorgeous. And look how handsome they all are.
They were good looking. Yes, and I remember when they were all young men. You know, when I was a kid and they were in their 30s, they were a good looking bunch.
Now, so which one is the youngest?
Ted's the young. No, which one's the young? Tommy's the young. Tommy's the youngest.
Tommy is the youngest. Oh, okay. All right.
So it's you, and then who's the next oldest? Andy or Ted? Who's older, Andy or Teddy? Bert was the oldest, of course. Bert was the first, and then you.
Then I, and then
they all look so young.
Tommy was the youngest.
Tommy was the youngest, that's right.
And then
I ought to know that, and I don't know. Tommy was the youngest. Bert was the oldest. You were the oldest boy. Teddy was born in Greece after when you were living in Anavriti. Was when Teddy was born, right?
is that right?
I think so. I'm pretty sure he was born in Greece.
He might have been, yeah.
They were good looking. Teddy was a little bit of a ladies' man when I was a child. He had a place with other bachelors out on Long Island. Was it on Fire Island? Where was that summer house that Teddy used to rent with other young men? And we went out to the beach there. I don't know why they tolerated a married couple with little tiny children tumbling around, maybe on a Sunday afternoon once, But because I remember he was quite, he had a lively social life, and then he married Helen, of course, so that was nice.
Well, we were playing Betty Goodman in the car yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
Swing. We were playing swing music.
Yeah.
So I said, I bet you were a pretty good dancer in your days. So he said, yeah, I think I was.
Well, yeah, and also going out dancing was, I think, more universal.
Oh, sure,
than it is now.
Yeah.
I know that when we were kids, we used to play dress up in Mom's old ball gowns.
Yeah.
She had a lot of them.
Yeah.
Because, by the time, I guess it became, by the time we were around, they were 10 years out of fashion and she wasn't going to something.
Yeah, but they're fun.
But they were fun. These silk things with, like they had narrow waists and wide skirts that would sort of twirl around when you... In fact, her wedding gown was made convertible to an evening gown.
Really?
That was what they did in that era.
Oh, that's great.
Because, you had the very good silk brocade and it had like a halter top.
Yep.
And then there was a chapel jacket over it.
How cool is that?
And that was done because they went to a lot of formal events in the 40s. There was a lot of that kind of entertainment.
Especially with the Army.
Especially with the Army.
Yeah.
But I think in civilian life, too, there was more formal dances and entertaining than there is now. In middle class society.
Isn't it sad though that we've gotten away from all of that, like the hats and the gloves and
I find it a little sad when I on Sunday morning I drive by a church and I see people coming out and they're dressed as though they're going to go to the garden shop.
I know.
Afterwards.
I know.
And it's sort of it used to dignify the occasion.
I know.
People went to the theater or.
Yeah.
But I've seen pictures of Dad from back then looking really, really sharp. I mean, when he was good looking.
Well, you could tell he was a great dresser.
Picture.
Yep.
And there's something about a uniform too, but anyway, they were four very good looking boys.
Now we have to call Ted pretty soon too. We haven't spoken to him in a while. We need to call.
That's a good thing to do.
We have to call your brother. Maybe we'll do that this afternoon.
Call Ted and Helen and say
hi.
hi.
Call them.
Oh, by all means.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, we'll have to do that.
That's a good idea. See how they're doing. Yeah.